Hi everybody, my name is Jason and I am with the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and I thank you very much for hanging out with myself in this little tiny table in the middle of a jungle here. And I have to redo all of my scripts because it was always the pack of us, the humans that always sat here and we ran through these and we did all these readings, but now it's just me, a single pack on this group, and it seems like it's very rare that we can get the rest of the tribe situated that we're able to do this. And so you guys are going to have to put up with me. My apologies. But much love to all of you guys. We are the family who believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in the first 5 books of scriptures, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are the absolute guidepost for life. They are absolutely the only set of doctrine that you would want to keep. Because when we deal with one of my favorite words, which is called biblical hermeneutics. Biblical hermeneutics is the understanding that what happens at the beginning of the book sets the understanding for what happens at the end of the book. Because when they were writing all of what we call the New Testament or the New Covenant, there was no such thing as the New Covenant. When they were talking about doctrine, they were talking about scriptures. When they were talking about any of that, they were talking about the old Torah and the prophets of old. That's the only thing that they were ever talking about. And from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, it's pretty much the same setup. Our Creator says, if you will obey me, he will be our leader. He will guide us through this life, and he will guide us to the kingdom to come. But if you don't want to be his people, then simply don't care what he has to say. Eat your pork, worship on a Sunday, do whatever it is you want to do because you believe that the laws of our Creator have been nailed to the cross and they don't mean anything for you or for any of your family. For us and our family, they mean absolutely everything. And we are on what you would call a preparation day. And a preparation day means that it is a Shabbat tomorrow. That means there is no work tomorrow. There's no cooking, there's no cleaning, there's no doing anything because our Creator says, seethe what you want to seethe today, cook what you want to cook today, and we need to make sure that we are resting. That is the premise of everything for tomorrow is rest, rest, rest. And so today is the day that we basically wind the entire week down. We do, Miss Nicole sits in the kitchen most of the day. She's cooking all sorts of goodies and things for us for tomorrow that we're able to put this stuff into crock pots and that we're able to have this stuff just warmed, sitting on warm and ready to roll for the rest of the family. So thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. Guys, this is a picture of Yah Scriptures. This is the greatest English translation of scriptures you will ever find anywhere. It sports an amazing 3 bookmarks. It is 14.5 font. What that means, it is large print font. 103 books. You will never find a greater compilation of scriptures with the Apocrypha put together, and they have the name of our Creator, the name of his Son, and they are completely restored so that you now know what our Creator's name completely is. And so you can grab these for every scriptures you guys grab. There is a one that we're able to offer into our brothers and sisters in chains. We are able to ship them free of charge. We have a list of them that are going out. We are getting our first Chinese shipment. They are coming from China on the 27th, or very, very close. So they will be shipping out, and we should have them inside of June, and we'll get everybody's orders out. Okay, guys, we are in the Book of Kings, and before this, I went out and found this little cool chart because all of us that have been reading through this, and there's not a lot of you. There's a lot of people on this channel, but there's just not a lot of people that read scriptures, and there's not a lot of people that actually like the law, statutes, and commandments. But this is a pretty good little diagram that I was able to find out there. And we have been through all of these books. We read through the years of Saul. We read through the years of David. We read through the years of Solomon. We saw exactly why it was that Saul, David, and Solomon, why it was that all of these guys did what they did. And for those who know, Saul was not a great king. He was a king. He did a lot of things for the Israelites, but he did a lot of evil, and his family got annihilated. Everyone got wiped out. David, he was what the scriptures calls a man after Yah's own heart. but he also had a major Torah breaking set of incidents where he ended up getting basically orchestrating a man's death, conspiring to kill him, and literally killing him, as well as adultery, as well as all sorts of evil things. And then it went into Solomon, and then Solomon really went berserk, and from there, everything has split. And so what we're talking about, guys, right now we're talking about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And over here we have the southern kingdom, and then we have the northern kingdom, which is called the Yisrael. And so as we've been reading through this is where we are at in this timeline. And I like this timeline. I think we'll use this timeline a lot, because I think it's very important that we are understanding the timelines of our forefathers and where we're at. So right now we are in the years of Ahab, or Acab, as this proper pronunciation is. And you can see that all of the guys before him, how many days they reigned, how long it was actually they did, as well as for Judah. And this is Judah over on the left. And we have Ahab, and right now while Ahab is reigning, we have Jeroboam, and Achizah as well. And so this is what we are reading. And so this is today chapter 18 of 1 Kings, MELAKIM. And prior to this, for those who have not been into this, right now Acab is he's a king of Israel. And he is he's dealing with the prophet Elijah. And so there has not been rain on the land for over 3 years, and everything's barren. And Elijah just went and prophesied to Ahab, and said that there would be rain. We are in chapter 19. I was off one chapter. So we are in chapter 19 on this, and what we have is we have the prophet Elijah, and he was running faster than Ahab as they were going back. And this was after Elijah had just killed all the prophets of Baal, and the wife of Ahab, Jezebel, told Elijah that may her mighty ones do whatever it is to her if he's not dead by this time tomorrow. And so it freaked out Elijah, and then he went hiding, and then he's kind of back, and he's running in. But this is the story of that. So here we are. And when Acab reported to Jezebel all that Eliyahu had done, also how he slew all the prophets with the sword, Jezebel sent a message to Eliyahu saying, "So let the mighty ones do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time." So I obviously gave you guys a spoiler alert, and I did that to you guys yesterday as well. That's the problem with reading ahead of these. And my wife is giving me she's messing with me because I keep saying and so I'm working on that. And it's not so easy doing these presentations when you are by yourself, because it is it's a pantomime. It's like back in the days when the movie was with, who was that guy that was lost on the island that sat there and just talked to himself for like 2 hours straight? That's what it is here. Yeah, Castaway or something of the sort, one of those satanic flicks. Okay, so here we are. We are into 3. And he feared and rose up and ran for his life and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Yehudah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree, and prayed that he might die, and said, "It is enough. Now, Yahuwah, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers." And I found this very interesting, because these are things that all of us have thrown our hands up in the air. I at least I imagine all of you guys have at least once or twice. I have done it many, many times out of desperation. You say things, and you're talking to Yah, and the same things that happen to us are the same things that happened to Elijah. It's a little bit different, as people are coming to kill him, and he's struggling right now. But these same struggles our Creator knows that we have, and He is there with us to be with us and to take care of us. And that's the comfort that we can get as people who obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, is that He's there for us through all this rain and pain and suffering, and He will be there for all of these things. 5, and he lay and slept under a broom tree, and see, a messenger touched him and said to him, "Rise, eat." And he looked and saw by his head a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. So he ate and drank, and turned and lay down. And the messenger of Yahuwah came back the second time and touched him and said, "Rise, eat, for the journey is too much for you." And he rose up and ate and drank, and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights as far as Korah, the mountain of Elohim. There have been, many times, we have seen in scriptures that people will fast for 40 days and 40 nights. We saw it with Messiah. We saw it with Moshe when he went up to the mountain. It's an interesting number. It's a long time for anybody who's ever done a really, really long fast. I think the longest I ever did was like 14 or 15 days. And it was a wild, wild time. So I don't know exactly what you would be like at the end of 30 or 40 days. You're going to look pretty slim, I would imagine. So 9. And there he went into a cave and spent the night there. And see, the word of Yahuwah came to him and said to him, "What are you doing here, Eliyahu?" And he said, "I have been very ardent for Yahuwah, Elohim of hosts. For the children of Yisrael have forsaken your covenant. They have thrown down your altars, and they have slain your Nebiim with the sword. And I am left, I alone, and they seek my life to take it." And he said, "Go out and stand on the mountain before Yahuwah." And see, Yahuwah passed by, and a great and strong wind tearing the mountains and breaking the rocks in pieces before Yahuwah. Yahuwah was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. Yahuwah was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. Yahuwah was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it came to be, when Eliyahu heard it, that he wrapped his face in his robe and went out and stood at the cave opening. And see, a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Eliyahu?" And he said, "I have been very ardent for Yahuwah, Elohim of hosts, for the children of Yisrael have forsaken your covenant. They have thrown down your altars, and they have slain your Nebiim with the sword. And I am left, I alone, and they seek my life to take it." And Yahuwah said to him, "Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and you shall go in and anoint Hazael as sovereign over Aram. And anoint Yahu, son of Nimshi, as sovereign over Yisrael, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat, of Abel Mecholah, as Nabai in your place. And it shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Yahu kills, and whoever escapes the sword of Yahu, Elisha kills. And I shall leave 7,000 in Yisrael, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." And he went from there, and found Elisha, son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yokes before him. And he was with the 12. And Eliyahu passed by and threw his robe on him. Now, I don't think that him sitting here plowing with 12 yokes before him or anything where it deals with 12 is concerned, because obviously we have the 12 tribes of Israel. It's always been about the 12 tribes of Israel, even though, Reuben was kicked out and you had Ephraim and Manasseh as the 12th and 13th. But it's always been about the 12. And so it was no coincidence that Elisha is out here, Elisha, as they say in this version of it, is out there plowing. And so he's with the 12 yokes before him. Obviously, there's symbology everywhere. 20. And he left the oxen and ran after Eliyahu and said, Please let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I follow you." And he said to him, "Go, turn back, for what have I done to you?" And he turned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slaughtered them and cooked their flesh using the implements of the oxen and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he rose up and followed Eliyahu and became his servant. So there's the word again. There is the combination of Elijah and Eliyahu, and these two from scriptures became very, very close, very, very tight. They were bonded at this point, and so this is kind of the next following up of Elijah. This is his kinsman to it, and the message will always be the same throughout scriptures. And what you will see here when we have all of these kings, and we see that all of them were here and they went, there was one thing in common with most of them that didn't reign very long, is that they were all evil and that they did evil things. And for whatever reason, Israel had the hardest time knocking down the mighty places, the Asheroth poles, and where all the corruption was. And this is why our Creator, from the very beginning, told everybody that, listen, you need to put away all of the things from outside. You need to not be a part of the Gentiles. You don't want to be a part of it. And that's the same message that we have today. We are all in captivity. We are all around people that don't care about the laws, statutes, and commandments. But are you going to a movie theater hanging out watching raunchy, evil things that are abominable in the sight of Yah, right? Are you doing things that when Messiah Yahushua is standing right next to you, are you going to be going drinking in the bars, right? There's all of these things that we have to understand that are acceptable for the ways of our Creator and how He wants us to live and what He wants us to do. And so this is our goal, is to try to find those who are seeking our Creator, who are willing to follow Him, and that are willing to put their obedience before their wishes and their ways. And that's what obedience is all about. So guys, we hope you have a wonderful day. We will be doing a live reading tomorrow. It's 11 o'clock our time. It's like 10, 11, somewhere in the U.S. time as well. You can find us on our main channel, Yahuwah and the Torah. We hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful prep day, and we hope you have a wonderful Shabbat. So much love to everybody. I'm out.